Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn 1.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, 7 laps as far as I can know.
We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport. Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As we go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around.
Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail, and it hit me in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to the season finale of Season 1 of the CDM Clio Cup here from Circuit Park Zandvoort here on iRacing. We're really excited for this last round of the championship, where it is going to go right down to the wire, and I tell you, it's gone down to the wire already in a weird way, and I'm going to explain that in just a moment. My name's Chaz Draycott. Delighted to have alongside me a man on the move, Dara Thacker. Dara, welcome back to the box, mate. Good to have you for this final round of the season. This should be a laugh, this, shouldn't it?
It should be. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because we've had a great season up to this point. We've had so many contenders, so many people that have been able to get themselves towards the front. But this is the championship finale, the final points to be won. Everyone who's in contention knows where they sit, knows what they need to do and what the others almost need to do to give themselves a chance. But it's a great circuit to go racing in, and I think in these cars, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be very, very good fun here tonight. It's a shame we don't have the slipstream that these cars have in the real world. But this is how the championship looks coming into this final round then. Matt Hoyland had an absolutely wonderful time back at the Red Bull Ring, but Dan McCauley also got himself a race victory, so he's definitely going to be one to watch as well. Obviously, trying to defend that top spot and take the title here tonight. Alex Fretwell is still in third place, not too far off. Sam van Olst had a bit of a tricky one with that big incident. He's lost a number of points, but there's a few drivers further back that are tied. We've got Lee Berridge here tonight, so he is sure to surpass Jan Stitchbury in the standings. Jack Johns and Jan Osberg are tied on points as well, and you can see just how close it is all the way down. Goldsus, they technically have it in the bag here, Dara. They basically just need to score a handful of points in this first race of the night, and they should be teams champions, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, a 51-point advantage is a very nice position to put yourself in, and Johnson Van Olst know what is needed. I'm enjoying looking at the battle in the Drivers' Championship, you know, in that kind of Gregory. Obviously, Jan isn't here, but that Gregory, Stitchbury, Berridge, Shirley Range, they're all quite close. Jack Johns as well, and Jan Osberg. Could be some movement down there, but only 24 points at the top. Dan McCauley. I mean, you're going to be feeling it if you're Dan McCauley, aren't you? And if you struggle in qualifying, it's going to get a little bit worse. And I can't lie to you, that this practice session isn't exactly filling me with confidence for Dan.
Well, to be fair, Dan isn't full of confidence at all right now because he's only just gotten into the session. This is his second fast lap that he's managed to do tonight. He had an issue with his sim, and for about 45 minutes leading up to the broadcast going live, he's been messaging me and obviously mentioning that he's having sim issues and he didn't even know if he was going to make it. And about 10 minutes ago, just before the driver's briefing, he actually got it fixed, and in the end he was all sorted. But obviously pressure is on now, and I mean, in fairness to him, we've seen him have some far from ideal qualifying sessions the last couple of weeks, and he's still been all right to take home some good points. But there's one man out there that he's got to try and beat tonight, and that guy's currently second in this practice session.
Yeah, and I think Matt Hoyland's going to be delighted to be where he is tonight. I mean, 24 points isn't loads, really, when you consider how many points are on the table tonight. And, you know, if he can put himself into a good position after qualifying, some good points on the board in race 1, I think that'll put more doubt in Dan McCauley's mind, even if he just gains by a couple of points. That's going to, you know, sow the seed of doubt. So, yeah, I think Matt's in a very good position here because he's not really got anything to lose. He's 24 points back. He's not exactly expected to win here, but he just give it his best shot.
Yeah, that's all he can do at the end of the day. We're going to keep our eyes on the points over the course of the night. You will have seen a little brief glimpse there of Sam Fitzpatrick of Apex Racing. Lovely, lovely guy, Sam. Double champion in Formula CDM. And he's racing for the Beef and Dairy Network in this championship. He's made his first appearance tonight. He did sign up partway through the season, but unfortunately he has been busy for a number of it. He did actually ask me ahead of tonight, am I all right to race in the last round, considering, because Sam is quick, and we know that. But, yeah, he said, am I all right to race tonight? And I said, look, as long as he races tonight, and if there's anyone in the championship hunt around him, he backs off, takes it easy, then that's fine. And he's agreed that that's perfectly reasonable. So he's going to enjoy some Clio racing out there tonight. No livery on the car, but we've got quite a good grid. 17 cars out for the finale. Usually at the end of a season, you tend to see a big drop-off, don't you? But they've come out in force tonight, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, championship finale. Everybody wants to get involved in the act before we have a little hiatus at the end of the season. I mean, I'm just hoping that Sam doesn't bring too much of that beef to the circuit. That wouldn't be ideal.
No.
Just the dairy, please, Sam. As long as he can, maybe he'll just sit out in front. Who knows? Matt Hoyland will hope that he won't, though, because he wants the big points. Although he is deciding that, well, I don't know. He wants to let everybody through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it causes the question why did he leave the pit lane so early? But hey ho,
yeah,
doesn't really matter.
No,
lets everybody through, and we'll find himself a nice little bit of a gap.
So he's making his way around the circuit. The only car not on track at the minute is Dan McCauley, but we've seen him do this a few times, haven't we? He goes out late in the session and sort of leaves a big gap to drivers ahead of him. So, yeah, I won't be surprised if he's doing the same again here. It's good to see a number of drivers. We've got Lee Berridge back with us. Lee's had a really good season so far. He's taken 2 race wins, if I remember rightly, so far in this campaign, as he frantically looks at his point sheet. No, he had a first place at Okayama, then he had a second place in race 1 at Barber. So still a strong campaign for Lee. Despite missing around, he finds himself tied for 6th in the championship with Yayan Stitchbury. Granted, Yayan's not here anymore, but yeah, I'm sure Lee will be very, very pleased with the season that he's had. He's had a 2-week holiday, I believe, so hope he's been enjoying it, and I hope that tonight is a good return. We've got Jordan Butler back with us. Jordan's missed a few rounds of the championship as well, so it's nice to see him back on the grid as Stuart Clark has a bit of a moment. Jack John's already on the flashing lights. Jack had a very busy week last week at the Red Bull Ring with Alex Fretwell. We saw an incident between the two of them for which Jack got a penalty. Danny Weir, unfortunately, teammate of Matt Hoyland, is not here tonight. He received enough licence points to get a race ban, I'm afraid, to end the season after the massive incident, the very scary incident that we saw down to the penultimate corner. But fair play to Danny. As I mentioned in the driver's briefing, he handled receiving the penalty very well. He's been very gracious in that, and he's been really lovely to discuss that with and obviously to talk to, as he always is. So, yeah, hats off to Danny. I also mentioned earlier, sorry, Dara will speak at some point tonight, but I mentioned earlier the the Formula CDM Oceania series, which unfortunately has just been postponed. It will not be taking place until later on in the year, until winter time. Basically, it's not the right time to run the league. It's not fitting a lot of people who are regulars there that want to be in the championship, and unfortunately, the entries that we've received so far have been rather low, not quite up to the numbers that we would have wanted. And the team draw should have been tomorrow. So yeah, we're going to give that a miss. Delmont giving Gregory a bit of a hit there. I think the right thing for Delmont to do would not be force the issue and still chase Ben, but more back off and try and set yourself up for another lap. But well, Adam's in the next gen livery, and very different to the Castrol livery we saw him in last week, which we both really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was a nice one actually. I did quite enjoy that. But oh well, hey ho, can't have it all. At least we've got some good racing and some good times coming in already. Jack Johns 151.5. Again, a lap time that in Formula One would be about 119, 110. Maybe I'm underselling it slightly. A little bit longer. 151 is what we've got. I would not be surprised at all to see a 150 pop up onto the board soon though. With James Holman. And Matt Hoyland now going 51 flat, nearly there into the 150 range. But it means that for 20-minute races, we're only going to be getting, a dozen laps or so. So the races will go past quite quickly. But in contrast to Formula One, this is slightly better because you can actually race around here, which hopefully will be quite exciting to witness. It's the next F1 Grand Prix, isn't it? And you'll see more overtakes, I guarantee you, in the first lap of this than you will in that race. No hate, of course, but it's just how that track goes.
Well, Dara's made himself a bed there, so we'll keep an eye on that, won't we, everyone? We'll watch the replay back, we'll report back, and then keep an eye on the Dutch Grand Prix, which I'm sure will be an interesting one. Francois, hello.
Yeah, hello. If I can add a little bit of trivia, the current record for Zandvoort is 1:11.0 by Lewis Hamilton.
And I bet he didn't do it in a Clio.
Definitely not. It was in 2021.
But if he did do that in a Clio, then goodness me.
Can you imagine?
It's going to be quite a ride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in 2021, he would still lose to Max Verstappen, right?
Oh. Ooh. One thing
should move on, Chaz.
Oh, we're going to. One thing I wanted to mention was Yain Stitchbury. I mentioned him earlier. Unfortunately, not been able to commit to the remainder of the season. Yain actually proposed something very interesting for if we do another version of the CDM Clio Cup, and that was to impose what he called, and I love it, the Clio Evo package, where on iRacing, when you run fixed setups, you can add and remove weight from the cars, and you can, I thought, just remove power. So for balance and performance sake, as Dan McCauley goes 4th fastest, that's much better than his practice time. As Hoyland, purple final sector, but doesn't improve overall. But what you can do, I didn't know this, you can add power as well. So what he suggested was that we take some weight out of the thing, so it's under a ton, and also add another 20 horsepower to it. And can you imagine what a rocket ship that would make it? It would be so much. I mean, it's great to watch anyways, the little Clio. It's a very interesting car with a lot of body language, considering it's a hatchback. But can you imagine it with 20 more horsepower and a number of kilos out of it? That'd be great.
Oh yeah, just give it all the power. Give it no weight. And just absolutely ring it. I mean, that'd be fantastic. Feels a bit like my car, my Fiesta that I currently drive, to be honest, if it had any power. Yeah, not about 40 to 70 in about 20 seconds, if that. It's being kind, actually.
Oh lordy.
Yeah, it's awful. But I'd love to get one of these. It'd be fantastic.
Well, I have to say I'm very lucky because my girlfriend Charlotte has a Clio. It's the Clio. I never get the name right. It's the Alpine E-Tech. So it's got the electric motor assistance for when it gets off the line. It can run in EV mode only. It's the 2026 one, so it's the shape after this one. And it is an absolute missile off the lights. It's really, really good fun. It's very good on fuel as well, as you'd imagine. But it's a lovely, lovely little car. Really good fun to move around. As Delmont goes into the 150s. A 150.977. And we finally see a 150 on the board there, Dara. And, of course, Adam Delmont, he has been rapid these last few weeks since joining the series. And, well, he's certainly in the fight once again here.
Yeah, he is. It's been a little bit up and down in the races, isn't it, for him? He's had the pace all season. Well, I see it all season long. The races that he's turned up to, and he's showing it again tonight. See if he can try and convert this good position into some good points. I hope he does. As we see a few drivers into the pit lane, it's interesting. Of course, they have their different run plans, and there's 6.5 minutes to go. Because there's multiple races tonight, when that timer hits 0, that is that. So realistically, if you are a bit more of a fan of realistically any racing series at all, you can finish the lap that you're on after the checkered flag flies. You almost have to imagine that checkered flag flies at the 1 minute 50 mark, because the next time you cross the line will be the end of your session. So that being said, we've only really got another 4 minutes for drivers to get a lap in. There's only a couple in the pits. There's a few on out laps, but Gotta get a move on. Not too many runs left.
No, absolutely not. It's a good point with the 150 as a cut-off. To be fair, it's probably about 153 because it takes a second or two, doesn't it, for it to populate the time on the board. So they need to have crossed the line with a good second or so in hand. But again, I just love how much of a mixed grid we've got here. Martin Shirley and Lee Berridge have both been front runners in previous rounds of the championship. They're 14th and 15th on the grid at the moment. Ben Gregory, race winner this season. He's 9th on the grid right now. Jan Osberg is going well. Jack Johns is going well. Jack's qualifying has been hit and miss this season, but he's been getting the race results in, and he's currently in 4th place. So, and his teammate Sam Van Olst, who's right up there in the championship, he's down in 11th. It's so topsy-turvy. Every qualifying session, if there was one thing, and I'm going to pose this question to you in a second, Dara, so I can give you time to prep, but if there was one thing I had to pick this season that was one of my favourite elements of this championship, obviously from a biased perspective as the organiser, it's the fact that qualifying is so unpredictable. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I quite like it. We've had so many different drivers right at the top of the order all season long. It's not really been same old by any stretch of the imagination. And it's been nice to see that we've had that kind of change around, and we've not had the same drivers, at the top every single week. Yes, of course, we've had the drivers that have been slightly faster than the rest, and that have generally been further up, and obviously you can see that on the championship standings. But I think it's nice, really, that we have that kind of turnover at the top, because it keeps it fresh, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. It really does. Hello to those of you watching over on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying the show so far here tonight. Let us know your predictions for what's going to happen this evening here in the CDM Clio Cup. Just while qualifying does go on, we will give you another look at the championship points. Dan McCauley comes here with a tasty advantage of 24 points to Matt Hoyland. He's then 13 points clear of Alex Fretwell. And then Sam Van Olst is another 10 points behind. After that, though, there's over 60 points to Ben Gregory, which shows you that really it's been a 4-horse race for a lot of the season, really. I mean, you take out the likes of Dylan Da Costa and Jan Stitchbury, who have both been absolutely incredible before now. It's certainly been an interesting championship to behold with, again, no knowing who's going to win races. But there's a maximum for the drivers of 75 points here tonight, so any 4 of them could win the championship. There's no drop scores from tonight either. You cannot drop this round of the championship, so every point will count. And on top of that, in the teams championship, it's a maximum of 135 points. And right now, there's 3 teams mathematically that could win it, actually, Dara. Gold Source, HW, and 9PP.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Really, when you consider we've got to this stage of the season, I think a lot of the time, particularly in Formula CDM, it's been wrapped up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And by the final round, but that was more because somehow we had 2 of the best drivers in one team.
Yeah.
Like 3 seasons in a row. It's been nice to have that kind of balance here in the Clios, though, to keep us very much guessing. As we see the guys come across time. Berridge, did he improve? He did slightly, but stays P15. These guys are now starting their final laps. They won't be able to go again after this. Jack Johns set another competitive lap time, but see if he has time to go again. He's definitely on the right line through Tarzan. A couple of guys offline, so they won't be improving, but we are right up towards the end. And Delmont still holding firm. I think good for Macaulay to be in the top 5 because qualifying form hasn't been great of late, has it? So I think to get himself back towards the front will give him a little bit of confidence, but still behind Hoyland. So there's always that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the point system that we've got as well, even if you finish 4th and your rival wins a race, they gain 11 points on you because it's 25 to 14. So you've got to be really careful where you drop points over the course of a race night. Dan will just... I mean, Dan could happily, if I look at it this way, he could pretty comfortably, as he's messed up this lap, he could just sit behind Hoyland all night, maybe even just 2 positions back from him. And if he had... Yeah. Okay, so the gap's 24. If Hoyland wins all 3, Dan just needs to finish higher than 3rd in 1 race. Because if Dan finishes in 3rd in all 3 races and Hoyland wins, they will be tied on points, but Hoyland will win on race wins. That's the sort of the margins we're talking about here tonight. It's mad.
I love it when it gets down to those the permutations, though.
Oh, yeah.
Fun. God, I love bad as it sounds, love a bit of maths at the end of the season. God, that does sound bad, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Delmont's gone even faster, 50.8, puts another 10th between himself and anybody else, so he's going to be feeling a little bit safer at the front of the field. And can anybody beat him? Not entirely sure. Alex Fretwell, keep an eye on him. A couple of improved sectors at the start of the lap. Can he jump up at least ahead of Jan Osberg, who's only a couple of hundredths in front?
Oof.
He does, jumps to P4 ahead of Johns and Macaulay, and that's another car between Hoyland and Macaulay that Dan's going to have to work with. Jack Johns doesn't improve towards the end. I'm not entirely sure there's anybody else who can challenge with only 20 seconds left to go. In fact, there isn't, so it is Delmont on pole. Matt Hoyland on the front row, that's exactly where I think he'd want to be.
Yeah, absolutely, with a number of cars between himself and Dan Macaulay, and it's a number of the tough nuts to crack, as Murray Walker once said. You've got Jack Johns, Alex Fretwell, those two are going to continue the fun from the Red Bull Ring, I imagine. James Holman starting third as well. Holman has been a threat for a race win all season long, but there you go. There is the end of qualifying, and very quick fire now. This is one of the other elements of the championship that, as a broadcaster, it's nightmare fuel, but it's great to watch because the drivers get put straight into a really high pressure scenario, straight from qualifying, straight into race 1, straight into race 2. It's Adam Delmont on pole position from Matt Hoyland, with James Holman and Alex Fretwell alongside. Jack Johns and Dan Macaulay make up row 3, with Jan Osberg and John Breitenbach. They're completely inseparable. They're on row 4. Ben Gregory and Stuart Clark round up the 5th row of the grid, ahead of Sam Van Alst and Sam Fitzpatrick, and all Sam row 6. Martin Shirley is alongside Jordan Butler, with Lee Berridge and John Roberts in 15th and 16th, and James Pallett completes the 17-car field that we have here tonight. But I'm intrigued by some of the drivers that could make their way through the order here, Dara. Obviously, reverse grid in race 2 could be quite interesting to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, absolutely could. You've always got to be wary, particularly because it's not, or there's more than 15 here tonight. You almost want to make sure that you're thinking a little bit more about that reverse grid, because otherwise you may get slightly unstuck. It was in the last couple of weeks that everyone who finished would then be in the reverse grid, but now if you're out early, you're going to be starting at the back in race 2 as well, so you've got to be careful.
On board with Dan Macaulay here, on the brink of taking the championship, but 3 races ahead of him tonight. A lot of pressure, and he just needs to keep an eye on that blue car in front of him, and then the orange car in front of that. The top 3 in the championship actually starting on the same side of the grid here. You've got Adam Delmont and Hoyland on the front row. We're just waiting for Sam Van Alst to take to the grid, and boop, there he is. And the first race of the night here in the CDM Clio Cup, God, I'm nervous, from Zandvoort, will get under way. A puff of smoke from Adam Delmont at the front of the grid. Seems to be the only one that spins up at all, but he's eager to get the car off the line. Moves over to the right. Hoyland goes over to the left. Everyone now dives into the banked corner of Tarzan. There's contact between Holman and Fretwell straight into the first corner. Fretwell goes through up into 3rd place. Jack Johns has lost out to Dan Macaulay as well. Dan's gained 2 places off the start. Ben Gregory side by side with John Breitenbach into there as they go into the big dish for the first time. Gregory there as well. Holman sends it up the inside into the side of Jack Johns. Not quite sure what he was doing there with that. There's damage to Jack Johns' machine. Surely he's out of that, because look at it. That's going to be a meatball flag for Jack Johns.
Yeah, and if there's one person who I don't think is going to be very happy at all with that, it'll be Jack Johns, and he's still flashing the lights. As if James hasn't seen them yet.
Yeah.
In towards turn 6 we go. We've got Josberg and Gregory now piling up behind Jack Johns. You've got Delmont at the front of the field getting away ever so slightly, but look at that. It was a melee 2x2 momentarily in towards turn 8. It's a very, very technical corner, and it just continues. You keep going in towards turn 9. The rotation of the car doesn't stop, so it's all going to get a little bit tetchy in towards turn 10. But for Macaulay to now only have 1 car between himself and Hoyland after having 4 originally is a delightful place for him to be.
Yeah, fantastic start for Dan, really. It wasn't all about his pace or anything, but he's gained 2 places, and so too has Lee Berridge, so it seems that shade of blue goes really well around here. I'm amazed that's not a meatball flag for Jack Johns, though, as it looks like that car's got a puncture front left. That front left is absolutely battered in, but he's been able to continue. I know he's frustrated, but there's too much flashing of the lights, and it's something that we did tell them not to do back at the Red Bull Ring. Jan Osberg wants a piece of this, though. You do have to feel for Jack, because he was very much the innocent bystander in all of that, wasn't he? As Holman just came steaming up the inside.
Yep, I think running a little bit high after, or hot I should say, after turn 1, he was kind of barged out of the way, just decided he was going to go for the move. This is fine. Absolutely fine. Brakes a little bit too late boom, well, you can't really see him, but you can see the contact with Jack Johns, and then Jack nearly pushing him into a spin on the exit. All a little bit messy. He's still defending, still out on the track, and it's going to continue to get a bit messy, I think, here.
Yeah, Jan Rosberg and Ben Gregory getting very friendly with one another. Sam Van Alst in the background there trying it on Stuart Clark, who's gone in a little bit deep. Contacting Gregory's in the wall. Gregory's in the barrier hard, and that is going to be the end of his race, surely. Rejoins, and it's more than broken. That's a big, big shame. Wow, that was a big, big incident. Delmont still leads from Hoyland, Fretwell and Macaulay, but let's have another look at this. So Gregory was right on the back of Johns. Does he just go deep?
Yeah, does exactly the same thing. Literally exactly the same thing. The only difference is that this time he just gets turned by... There's nothing that Jack Johns can do there.
No.
It's just Gregory going too deep and Jack just trying to take any kind of line that doesn't put himself into the wall. So it's kind of unfortunate because it's almost what happened to James Holman on the opening lap. But for twice in 2 laps, Jack Johns has been set into that corner and had contacts made onto him.
Yeah, it's a big shame that for Jack, because he was in a really good place at the start of this race to be able to obviously smash this one out of the park. But right now,
gentlemen, interrupt you two for a moment. Jack Johns does not have a meatball, but his wheel is slightly bent, aiming at the right-hand side.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brandet. Francois there, giving us a nice little update. Jack has now lost his front bumper as well as the toe on that front left. So a very, very interesting amount of damage. Danny Weir asking, new mic. For which one of us, sir? And Dara's in a different location than usual. It definitely does sound a bit sharper, which is interesting, considering it's not his usual setup. Sort it out, Dara. But no, I'm on my my usual mic as Jan Rosberg serves a slowdown penalty.
Well, I'll tell you what it could be. I'll tell you in a second because they're 2x2 into the opening corner. Van Alst on the inside, Fitzpatrick involved as well. They should sort it out through turn 1. Yeah, no, it's the same microphone that I have at home, but I'm actually having to... Normally it's sat on my desk and I'm having to hold it because I have no desk in front of me. That might be why, because it's right next to me. It's probably closer to my mouth. That's probably what it is. Might have to invest in some energy to do it at home.
Invest in some energy. We need to get you a headset mic, so then you can look around like I'm doing right now, and it makes no difference. It's beautiful. Although boom mics are very, very good, and desk-mounted mics are even better. So hats off. Hats off to Delmont, because he is doing a wonderful job at the minute leading this race. He's not breaking away from Hoyland, but he's just chipping away a tenth or so here and there. But I think in the slipstream it starts to sort of slow down. Now James Holman is right up behind Dan Macaulay. I don't think Dan will fight this too hard. He and James both respect each other a lot and know that they're good when it comes to racecraft, but you've got to pick your battles tonight if you're Dan, don't you?
Yep, you do. You don't really want to be getting involved in too many dramas, particularly in this opening race when the reverse grid's going to take effect. Actually, no. Having said that, race 2 where you don't want to get involved in too much, because of course that will set the grid totally for race 3. Even if he, for example, crashes now, Ben Gregory's out. The worst he can start is 16th, which could be maybe 2 spots behind Matt Hoyland anyway. So worst comes to worst, he's still going to be in the same position. He just would have lost out all of the points in this opening race, but he still doesn't want to be losing too much. I mean, if he's worried about losing the car in battle with James Holman, does he let him by? You know that he's going to start that little bit further in front in race 2. I mean, that's the dilemma he's going to have to face. It doesn't have to matter now, though, because he's let him through, and Holman's up to 4th.
Sam Van Alst goes down the inside of his teammate. Jack won't make that difficult for the Belgian. And to be fair, Sam really needs this, because if he finishes in 6th place and gets 10 points... Actually, no, you know what? If he finishes in 6th place and gets 10 points, he is still out of the championship fight here, and he will be 51 points behind Dan Macaulay, which will take him out of mathematical contention. Everybody runs wide through there and has a bit of a moment. Dan Macaulay, in fact, no, he's just got 2 points less, so now that does bring Van Alst back into it. He's side by side with Sam Fitzpatrick, and nice and friendly with the Formula CDM champion.
Yeah, as they're going towards turn 6, and Sam Fitzpatrick kind of where he used to be, because he's got cars around him. So he's having to actually battle his way through, which must be rare for him in a CDM series. But he's going to have to try and find a way through on Sam Van Alst. They're both through on Jack Johns, and the longer that Jack can hold up the rest, the easier it'll be for these two to get away from everybody else. So that'll be what they're hoping for. Sam Fitzpatrick on debut, a P6 wouldn't be too bad at all, especially as he started in P12.
Yeah, exactly. He and Van Alst have actually gone through the pack together at this point as well. gaining the same number of positions, 5 apiece. Jack Johns is doing his best to hold on with the damaged car that he's got, and there's battles all the way down. Jan Osberg and Martin Shirley here right together. Jan turns in, Martin says no thank you, here's my wing mirror, have some of that. Very close stuff, but proper Clio racing. Top 2 are still close together here. Fretwell's dropped away from Hoyland, and that's going to give Matt that little bit of breathing room. Alex needs to do a little bit more than this because he is gaining points on Dan, but he'll be 32 points behind him after this race with only 50 on the table. And when you've got to consider that it's not just one championship protagonist that he's chasing, it's a difficult job from there.
Yep, exactly. So I think another couple of moves might have to be made to get the points on the board to still feel like he's given himself a chance to take the title home. Wide from Sam Van Olst. He's a long way from his home Grand Prix. Obviously, being a Belgian man himself. Ooh, there was a line for Fitzpatrick there. I don't know, I would have gone for that personally.
Yeah,
but,
I would.
He sat behind Sam Van Olst. Oh, it's the battle of the Sams. Just clocked down. As they work their way through. They have gained a bit of time away to Jack Johns, but he's held his own, isn't he, in the number 3?
I'm going to say this. Oh, do I? Yeah, I'm going to say this. I jinxed myself really badly last night on a live stream, actually, while playing Warhammer. And, yeah, ruined my own game from the moment I did it. This is quite calm so far. You feel like everyone's sort of setting themselves up for an easy start to their night, don't you? Just to get those points on the board, think about the bigger picture, especially our championship protagonist. Sam Van Olst has had to push. He's the one that's needed to push. And fair play to him, he is doing so. He's on for 10 championship points right now, which just keeps him in the picture compared to Dan McCauley, who is the car in front of him. But as soon as he loses 1 place to Sam Fitzpatrick or gains 1 place on Dan McCauley, that's it. Championship is over for Sam. And we said it earlier, didn't we, that Red Bull Ring was pretty much that done for Sam, bless him, because he was involved in that horrible incident with Danny Weir, Adam Delmont, and I believe it was Jan Osberg. And yeah, unfortunately, Sam was just an innocent bystander in that catastrophic collision, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. One of those crashes that you're pleased in the sim rather than actually happening. Oh, a nice one to watch as they're fighting for the lead. Hoyland on the outside line. You can see the chance for points here. Oh, better exit as well. Outside at turn 2. That's very brave. You've got to be careful to stick it around there. The up and under line is not something you'd necessarily go for in towards the bank left-hander, but he's going for it. Is there an overlap? Oh, this isn't looking too friendly.
Oh, he's got to be really careful as well, does Matt, because if he gets any incidents and there's protests or anything after tonight, then he could receive a race ban, which would be obviously converted to something. I can't tell you right on paper right now, but yeah, he's got to be careful because he's on 11 license points, so he needs this to be a really squeaky clean evening. And he needs to make sure that he doesn't overdo this, but he senses the opportunity for what would be 5 more championship points. And that would certainly help in the grand scheme of things. He would finish this race 16 points behind Dan in the championship right now. And that is a lot better than 24 points, isn't it, really?
Yes. And I think for him, that's a beautiful position to find himself in. And it's just that, again, incremental gain on Dan. And he gains 8 points in this race. He'll have 16 to gain. There's 2 more races. If he just replicates that a couple more times, even better. Be in a very good position going in towards the final 20-minute endeavour we will have coming up later this evening. James, though, looking to try and get through on Alex, and Alex Fretwell knows that he just cannot allow James through. I mean, he probably needs to, well, he definitely needs to try and get after the top 2. He just absolutely can't afford to lose more ground, given the situation he has found himself in. But 9 minutes to go. I mean, there's only 5 laps left, really.
Yeah.
So not a long time, really.
No, not long at all. We're just into the second half of the race now. And look at this, Fretwell hugging the pit wall all the way down there. You want to be careful that iRacing haven't left a polygon sticking out or something that you can smack into. That certainly happens at Sebring. I've done that on a media night before, hugging the right-hand wall just for a bit of fun, and then suddenly the car went into space. Sam Fitzpatrick and Sam Van Olst battling to be highest placed Sam in the race right together as they exit turn 1. Looks like Jack Johns has gotten used to the damage on his car. It's quite interesting, really. I was well, it's not interesting, but I'm going to tell you anyway. But I was watching the season finale of the 2009 British Touring Car Championship today, and a driver in there that people might know, Colin Turkington, got damage early on and was losing ground very quickly, like we saw with Jack after his incident. But eventually got used to how the car behaved with the damage, and he was just as quick as anyone else. And Jack is doing the exact same thing now, so I don't know if he is a Turkington fan, but he's challenging his inner Colin right now, as, oh dearie me, Lee Berridge all over the back of him. Back to the front, though. Holman and, no, Hoyland and Delmont.
Ooh, is that ascend? It's a look, isn't it? It's not really ascend. From Adam Delmont. Not from Adam Delmont, from Matt, oh, goodness me, the two of us. From Matt Hoyland on Adam Delmont. He's not quite going for the move just yet. He is just he's there, isn't he? He's lurking. He's making himself well known. He's keeping Adam guessing because he doesn't want Adam to feel like he can go into really any of these sections of corners knowing what Matt will do, knowing how he's going to behave. Basically making him feel unsafe everywhere is more likely to just push him offline and force him into a mistake without really having to do too much for yourself. So that's Matt's plan right now. He's only a couple of tenths back and the slipstream work towards 1.
We'll have to have a look. No wins yet so far this season for Adam Delmont. He's done 2 race meetings with us and he's been fantastic in both. But he's only had 1 podium actually. And that podium came in race number 1 at the Red Bull Ring, where he finished in 3rd position. So he's definitely going to defend the opportunity for a win. He may be taking points off a championship protagonist, but he doesn't care. He's just racing his own race right now. They're all entitled to do that. And if drivers choose to affect the championship fight, then that's on them. But obviously we don't want to see any of that. Jack Johns has got a right old queue behind him. Look at this. You've got Lee Berridge, then John Breitenbach, then Stuart Clark, Martin Shirley and Jan Ostberg at the back of this. 6 cars all for 1 position here, Dara. This is feisty stuff.
Yeah, and they're going to be clamouring on each other come the end. But even if Jan Ostberg can't make any moves, he's going to start 3rd in race 2. So
yeah,
every cloud, right? So that's always a good little thought to have in the back of his mind, especially if he's struggling to pick away through. But goodness me, you don't really want to get involved in whatever's going on up there, do you? Breitenbach, Berridge, Clark as well in there as they work their way in towards turn 6. This is the view from the nose of Stuart Clark. He's got a beautiful view of the back of Lee Berridge's car. There's John Breitenbach around the outside as well, and then side by side in behind as well, 2 by 2. Noah's Ark formation. I mean, we are quite near to the water, aren't we? So I'm surprised if you found an arc somewhere. But they are all over each other through this middle sector.
Whoa, door-to-door stuff there. John Breitenbach and Stuart Clark. Shirley gives him a bit of a nudge mid-corner. There's been an incident behind this. Jordan Butler and John Roberts have come to blows out of nowhere. Not quite sure what the situation is here. Jordan moves to the right. And he's just going to loosen the back end. Oh, whoa, what on earth was that, Jordan? Puts his nose down the inside of John, and he's going to... Oh, he goes just into that safe barrier on the outside. And look at that left rear. Goodness me. Oh, and the front left as well. Wow, he's turned it into an RC car. Big shame that for John Roberts. But a bit of a poor move by Jordan Butler. Hopefully nothing like that up at the front. Hoyland really careful now as he starts his attack of Adam Delmont. Adam runs wide into him. They nearly make contact, but he's really committed here, Dara. This is great.
Yeah, this is good to see. It shows that Matt Hoyland is really committed at winning this championship. Oh, careful. Inside for 3. This is a good place to be. He's going to get the overlap. He's going to just about get in front, and he's going to be able to get a bit of almost a bump up the hill towards 4 and 5. And Matt Hoyland takes the lead with 3 laps to go. What a move from him.
That was fantastic stuff by Hoyland. Really committed. I had the absolute pleasure of meeting Matt in real life, actually, on Saturday at the truck racing at Donington Park. And he's a really lovely bloke. He's about 9'8", but he's a really lovely guy. And yeah, we had a fantastic day. Really top bloke. And he was saying that he's just really enjoyed this league. And at the end of the day, he doesn't mind who wins it out of whether it's him or Dan. And yeah, I think he's just going to enjoy the fight to the end. But the form of him at the moment has just been absolutely electric, and I know that he's just trying to keep showing that, isn't he, and get more and more points on the board. And with moves like that, you can't blame him, really. That was fantastic.
No, it really was good to see. And good for him as well to be getting those extra points on Dan McCauley, of course, as things stand. 1st to 5th is a beautiful place for him to be. Yes, he's going to have some work to do in race 2, but anything can happen off the start there, so I don't think he'll be too displeased to be in this position and have an even better mathematical task ahead of him after the end of should be the next 2 laps as long as he can stay in front of Adam Delmont, which of course is going to be a lot easier said than done. Still four in this little battle of Sam Van Olt's back, and then 3 involved just in behind them, with Osbo, Clark and Shirley. You see these battles still going on because they're for the minor points playing positions, but they're still going to feel important for them, aren't they?
Yeah, at the end of the day, every point makes a big difference in the championship. How many times have we both seen championships decided by just a singular point come the end? Jack Johns is really playing rear gunner here for his teammate. There's drama behind. Stuart Clark and Jan Osberg off the road. Both of them recovering. Jack Johns defending like his life depends on it from Lee Berridge, who sends it up the inside. Lee coming back off holiday says, go on then, I'll have some of this. Sean Breitenbach now tries that inside line, really slows the car down, but look at the run that you lose on the exit. Sometimes you think, oh yeah, that inside line must be better. It's not always the case. Hoyland, by the way, right now, if he finishes where he is, will take the championship lead down from 24 points to 11. He's going to take more than half of the championship lead away from Dan McCauley if he wins this race. If he finishes in second behind Adam Delmont, it goes to 16. So these 5 points for a race win really make the difference, and it certainly drills home the fact that Dan will not possibly be able to win more races than him, because he has currently won. Well, actually, he's got 5 and Dan's won 2, so that was already sorted. But yeah, fantastic stuff from Hoyland at the minute. But what about Delmont's attack? He's not going to let him get away with it.
No, he's not. And Delmont's going to be sat right there for the final lap. Coming up in just a moment. Great helmet, by the way. You can see that in the mirror.
Yeah,
anyway,
cool,
he's got one more lap, one more tour of this circuit Zandvoort to try and make a move. A circuit that's had many modifications since its inception, well over 70 years ago. But I think this kind of Clio racing is exactly what works best around this circuit, and I think we could get a whole lap of it here if Delmont's going to go for it on the inside at turn 1. He set it up so well, and he's not gone for it. Thanks, Adam, but that's all right. We'll see if he goes for it anywhere else.
To be fair, I think Matt will be glad that he didn't, because Matt wanted to turn in, and you could see him sort of hesitating. He didn't want to go across the nose of Adam, and I think Adam thought about it, and then he made a bit of a second guess on himself. So Jack Johns is off the road. No, Jack. He's been tipped around, and I can tell you already what's happened here. Lee Berridge has been on the outside of him after getting the run, and he's going to turn into Jack's left rear quarter, because Jack's not been able to brake as late as these guys. Into his left rear quarter. Oh, and they get stuck together, and around he goes. Hate to say I told you so. This is interesting as well, Dara.
It is. P3 on the line. Fretwell, Holman. Holman on the outside line. You don't make many moves around the outside. Goodness me, commitment personified. As he's going to have to stay on the outside line all the way through 9 as well. It'll turn to the inside for 10. If he still has an overlap, he's just ringing it out as wide as he can go without going onto the grass and the gravel. Inside line then for this long left-hander, and Fretwell has forgotten where the line is clearly, because you could have fit a London bus between them there. And it's going to be James Holman with the advantage, and he should be able to hold on to the end of the race with just about 3 corners to go.
Hoyland is just ahead of Delmont, but flipping out. That next-gen car is, well, he's making it an 8-wheeled Clio at the minute. He's really piling the pressure on. Fretwell has gone for it down the inside of Holman, and he's actually got the move back. Incredible stuff. He must have jinxed him, Dara. Back down the inside he goes. Fretwell turns in, gives him a bit of a wet and dry rub down the inside. They're going to have a drag to the line. What about this pair as well? Delmont's going to move out to the left, surely, once he gets the run, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and Matt Hoyland is going to win at Zandvoort. Another race victory for Hoyland. As, oh, dearie me, big accident in the background. McCauley ends up in 3rd place. Fretwell sideways across the line. And, oh, Holman involved as well. Oh, wow, that didn't need to happen. Fitzpatrick, what a first race in Clio Cup. And, by the way, I was just about to say Jordan Butler going really well there, but no, unfortunately, Jordan was a lap down on all of that. We need to have a quick look at what happened here before the entire field finish. We're quite lucky in the way that Ben Gregory has half a lap to complete, but this just looked like everybody wanted to go for the same place on the straight. Dan McCauley had a great opportunity here for 3rd. He got it across the line. Yeah, he makes it 3 wide. And yeah, Alex just comes right. By the look of it anyway. Obviously, that'll be reviewed, but looked to me like Fretwell just comes over on him.
does a little bit. Let's have a look at it again. Around the final corner. Fretwell on the outside line, a little bit higher on the banking. James Holman on the inside. There's Dan McCauley there as well. Up to the line. McCauley's going to make it ever so slightly 3 wide. And
it's hard to see because of the bridge.
It is hard to see, but can we get an onboard from Dan McCauley? By chance?
We're going to lose the replay, I think, in just a second. That's the closest we can do it, I think.
That works. That works.
Ben Gregory's going to cross the line, and it's going to kick us out now.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. How far can we get? How far can we get? Up towards that. It's going to be perfect timing. I mean, it's very minimal, isn't it? It's just unlucky that James Holman gets caught up at all. That worked. That was beautifully timed. Goodness me.
Fair play, Ben Gregory.
Yeah, it was unlucky. I think that he got caught up in it, but I mean, I guess the stewards can have a word about that one, Chaz.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, second race of the night. John Roberts on pole, James Pallett alongside him. Then it's Stuart Clark and Jan Osberg. Lee Berridge and Jack Johns. Jack and Lee both got potential to go forward and maybe win from there. Shirley and Brayton back next up on row 4, ahead of Sam Van Olst and Sam Fitzpatrick. Alex Fretwell will start 11th ahead of James Holman, with Dan McCauley 13th, Adam Delmont 14th and Hoyland 15th. Then it's Ben Gregory and Jordan Butler, who I thought had just had a belter of a race, but unfortunately was a lap down. John Roberts back on pole position again, which is where we found him back at the Red Bull Ring. And he had quite the defensive drive there. What do you reckon now, Dara?
He'll have to do it again, isn't he? Rinse and repeat, really. Let's see how he can manage it. And we've not got long to find out exactly how he will do, but this is going to be a circuit where it's going to be difficult to defend.
It really will. And the second race of the night in CDM Clio Cup here at Zandvoort gets underway just like that. Very, very quickly. Everyone with the red mist over them now goes into another 20-minute race. A bit of a lock-up on the inside there from Stuart Clark. Sam Van Olst tries it round the outside as John Brayton back. You've got Sam Fitzpatrick in the mix there as well. Looks like it's feisty for third place as Jan Osberg has actually gotten ahead of Stuart due to that lock-up. And down the inside goes Lee Berridge. He's trying it now. Jack Johns just behind both of them, side by side with Van Olst in the background. Fretwell has... wow, a big sweep around the outside, bit of contact there between McCauley and Holman. But look at that. John Roberts once again disappearing like he did at Red Bull Ring. You've got James Pallett in there as well. He's had a bit of a poor run. Oh, Jack Johns jumping and skipping over the curbs as it's very friendly down here, Dara. Wow.
Jack Johns can be potent here, of course. He's towards the front of the field, still performed well with a damaged car in race 1. He could be quick, and he's going to get down the inside of James Pallett, the Jerseyman, who's then going to have 2 cars on his inside. That was always going to happen. Oh, it's a slide. Are they going to hold it? Oh, Jack John's going to come up, but he's going to hold it as well. Oh, my goodness me. Everyone's flying through. Delmont's up to 7th. Goodness me, where's he come from? Fretwell to 6th. McCauley's 9th, but Matt Hoyland's not made any progress at all. He's still P15.
What on earth is going on there? There's still 3 wide in the background here. You've got Holman side by side with Pallett. Berridge in there as well. Van Olst just in front of that. This is not going to end well into this sequence of corners, gentlemen. Pallett's in the middle. Oh, Holman very bravely cuts across round the outside. Says, go on then, I'll try it. He's got Lee Berridge on his right-hand side still. Hoyland trying to gain places again. 6 places gained for Sam Fitzpatrick, up to 4th place already. Incredible start for him, and like you say, Adam Delmont up 7 positions. I'd love to watch his first lap back, but I don't dare blink away from any of this, to be fair. And that's lap 1 complete, Darren.
Yeah, only the 10 to go. Let's hope they're not all quite as frantic as that, because I'll need a break halfway through if they are. Roberts has got a nice... well, he's not got a nice gap anymore. Osberg's right there, only a couple of tenths. He's pushing him through turn 1. Oh, and there's cars off. Fretwell is involved. Martin Shirley is involved. Difficult to see. We only really caught the end of it, but have a quick look. I think Osberg just went for the lead as well, by the way, in towards turn 3. Shirley on the inside line. Does he just walk it up into the line?
Oh.
A little bit into the line of Fretwell. It's halfway through the corner. It's difficult to really tell exactly who's on whose line. Oh, and we cut back to live, and Ben Gregory's out as well. He's had a torrid night so far. Jordan Butler's having an issue too. The race for attrition at the moment.
It really is. John Roberts is back in the lead, although he's got a poor run out of there. So now Jan Osberg wants a piece of this. You've got Stuart Clark in there. Sam Fitzpatrick wants to take a race win on his debut night. Oh, Stuart Clark with a big send up the inside of Jan Osberg. It's not going to work into their sunshine. We need to look at the championship protagonists, because Dan McCauley is up 6 places into 7th position. So that would put Dan on 9 points at the minute. Hoyland is currently running down in 12th, which will put him on 4. And then where is Alex Fretwell? He's down in 10th place on 6 points. And Sam Van Olst, well, he is right in the thick of it in 8th as well. So actually a number of them are all around each other. Dan McCauley would then re-extend his championship lead to 21 points right now. So he'll be a lot more comfortable with that as Delmont gains another place. John Roberts runs wide. These guys have got to be really careful here because, with no disrespect, from one end of the order to the other, there is quite the pace difference. So the guys really need to be patient, don't they? Especially in a car like this where it's not a GT3 car with loads of downforce. It's a car where it moves around a lot. It's a really floaty little machine and it's all momentum based. So you have to wring its neck, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You can't really allow it to settle for too long. It really has to be pushing it as hard as you can. Jack Johns still in P6 now, right behind John Roberts, after he got overtaken by Adam Delmont, who's on an absolute flyer in the opening couple of laps. He was on the podium in race 1. He's about to be, it feels, on the provisional podium for race 2. Stuart Clark's gone that far wide that he might have a chance on the exit. He's on the curb. He's going to get a poor run. He touches the grass as well. This could be a chance for Delmont, but through 4 and 5 at the sweepers, it's never particularly easy, and they're 5 in a row. Nose to tail at the minute.
Simon Price in the chat. Good to see you, mate. He says, stop, lads, for God's sake. I've got stuff to do. There's Delmont and Roberts. Oh, they've got a day at the beach planned, I think. Bit of contact on the way in, and suddenly the cars spit one way, then the other. Van Olst and Delmont now side by side in there. That's what I was trying to look at. James Holman now behind the pair of them. Oh, don't do it, James. Down the inside he goes. He says, go on then. Well, Van Olst was leaving the room. Delmont didn't know they were 3 wide, and goodness me, it's still going to continue into the next corner. Oh, my word. Some of these guys don't run with spotters on, I swear. But it's so difficult to make it work through there. Fretwell now gaining a place on Holman. He says, thank you very much.
Yeah, but it's not going to be over, is it? Goodness me. They just don't leave each other alone at the minute. Nearly 2 by 2 in towards the corner. A bit of a fight. Oh, my word. That's wide as Delmont's going to get deep into the corner. Through comes Van Olst. Will he come through? He's going to have the inside line for the penultimate corner. It'll be a good place to be. And you've got Fretwell just in behind. Holman pushing him through. And then Hoyland making the move on Lee Berridge. All of these guys behind Dan McCauley, who is possibly saving his championship winning season. I say possibly. I'm putting a big asterisk to that before I get blamed for jinxing anything. Because he's up in P4. 3 of them. Oh, pushing through. Careful. James Holman nearly drives into the wall voluntarily, it seems. And then Van Olst nearly comes down on him. 3 wide into the corner. This is going to end badly. The Irishman on the inside line pushing everybody wide. Look at Fretwell. 1, 2, 3. The others go off the road together. And you could kind of see that coming early into the corner. But Fretwell knew exactly what to do and placed his car perfectly.
And guess who else has benefited from this? Matt Hoyland in the mix now as well. He's going to go past Sam Van Olst into the left-hander, I hope, without contact. Sam gets a lovely cutback on him. Oh, dearie me, and that's pushed him wide. And that's put him off. Hoyland off on the right-hand side, and is that him out of the race? It is. No way. Sam smashes him wide and puts him in the barrier. What was that about?
Yeah, and you feel like that's Matt Hoyland's season's over, isn't it, really? Let's see it again. Hoyland, there's a little bit of contact into the corner. Hoyland goes deep. And Oz does the up and under, and then... Well, and then just puts him in the wall, doesn't he? I don't really know what Sam was expecting to happen there on the inside, because, I mean, he nearly missed the corner entirely himself on the exit, let alone with the car on the outside, so not ideal, and I think there could be words afterwards.
More than that. Sam Fitzpatrick, oh goodness me, he's having a good old scrap with Jan Osberg here. This is for the race lead as well, this is. These two are having a really good ding-dong. You've got Stuart Clark, Jack Johns and Dan McCauley in the background. Dan will maybe have seen what happened to Matt, but yeah, you have to feel for Matt in that situation because he was just going about his race. He benefited from the incident that happened in front of him. Holman there was always going to be an incident. I don't know why James decided to make it 3 wide into there, but they're told in the briefings. I waste me breath. Sam Fitzpatrick now in the slipstream, trying to make something of this, but unfortunately here on iRacing, this car has nowhere near the slipstream that we see in the real world from the Clio Cup racing machine. As behind, the battle is well and truly on. Jack Johns now in front of Stuart Clark, and Dan McCauley, currently running in 5th, is on his way to 12 championship points. Hoyland is off and out of the race. Fretwell in 6th place will score 10 points. He will still only be 44 behind. And Sam Van Olst in 7th will be out of the picture, and with just one race left to go after this, I can tell you that the teams champions will be gold sus after this one if it finishes as is, if they outscore HW Racing, which it's very likely they're going to do. But this will give Dan McCauley the championship if he finishes like this, because he'll be 28 points clear. It is not the way he would have wanted to win it, and it's a way that I hate to see it won, sorry. I mean, people would hate to see the way I run leagues anyway. Dan now trying to seal that and move up into 4th position. 9 places gained now for Dan, so he's managed to avoid all the mayhem, hasn't he, and keep it clean.
It is, and it's good for Dan to be able to feel a little bit of comfort. You never really want to win it in these circumstances, would you? But he's not put a foot wrong. It's not his fault, and he's just doing what he needs to do, and you can't blame him for that at all. I mean, he's on track to maybe even win this race, depending on how much further he can get. 6 laps will remain here in the second race. Osberg's wide, Fitzpatrick's wide. I don't know what Jack Johns and Dan McCauley were doing, but surely they're going to be gaining a little bit, and they did. A couple of tenths through that corner. Here comes Fitzpatrick then, pushing Jan Osberg towards the line, and quite literally pushing him. Gets to the outside line. Osberg will defend the inside, and well, Sam will just say, nah, I can't be bothered, and we'll sit behind and wait a little bit longer. And that's just going to give Johnson McCauley more incentive and more chance to catch for now.
Yeah, Jack's going to be spearing up to the back of them lot, and to be fair, with nearly half of the race left, then they're going to be very comfortably catching them, but we know just how quick Sam is. He's a multiple Formula CDM champion. He won the Formula CDM Americas Series and then won the Formula CDM British Series as well. So in multiple territories, Sam is reigning champion. Both of those wins coming with Flaxen Sport. One of them a teams championship as well in the Americas Series. Here's a good battle between Jean Breitenbach and Lee Berridge. Two of them absolutely together. But yeah, a lot of people are feeling the same sentiment that we are, that is not how we wanted tonight to go. With the form that Hoyland's been on as well, yeah, that is. I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely fuming, because that's robbed us from what could have been a really good championship fight tonight.
Yep, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? It's a shame. Dan McCauley's going to be pleased. He should be able to even... Is he going to win the title in this race then?
Yeah.
Because who else could have beaten him? Fretwell, right? So... Yeah, and he's beating Fretwell, and he beat him in the first race. So yeah, that should be game set a match for Dan McCauley, and it means, I think, for the first time in weeks, he might be able to relax in this third and final race of the evening.
He'll still be miserable. It's Dan. He's never happy. Yeah. To be fair, his wonderful wife Michaela has been enjoying the peace and quiet, because Dan lost his voice for about a week, so he wasn't able to throw pelters back. So she's been enjoying that, but now he's got his voice back. We might actually have to speak to him after this. Down the inside goes Sam Fitzpatrick, tries the move on Jan Osberg. The two of them are still side by side. They're having such a great fight. Looks like Sam's borrowed this off somebody that's had the Clio lying around in his shed for a few years, doesn't it? With the lack of livery on the thing. Jan is really committing to that inside line, but Sam gets a great overspeed. Now watch Jack Johns. He's going to get an almighty run on Osberg. It just makes you wonder, why do people still commit to that inside line? You know, like when people stayed out on dries when it rained? You just think, why? You know what's going to happen. Stop it. Dan McCauley wants a piece of this as well. He tries to get around the outside. He says, look, if I'm going to win it, I may as well get even more points. But Jack Johns gets the move complete. Sam Fitzpatrick, let me remind you, started this race 10th on the grid. Oh, dearie me. Started 10th on the grid and has moved up into the lead of the race. Dan McCauley started down in 13th place and has moved all the way up into 4th. Jack Johns has gone up 4 places, to be fair to him. He's had a bit of a quieter race so far than his first one. At least he's got all the panels on the car this time. But yeah, it's certainly as busy as ever.
It is. I don't think it's... I've lost some tired kind of thought. I thought you had another sentence lined up there, and I was getting ready to wait for it, and then I was jumping in. But no, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's a completely valid point to make, to be honest. And, you know, coming towards the end of the season, you know, things winding down, it's nice that we still have these elements to the championship that have kind of run all the way through. And keep coming back as well. It's always been nice to see things carry over time. I think it's quite nice in Formula CDM when we have that continuity of the liveries. That's quite fun. And of course, a little bit more free reign for the drivers here. With John with his livery, Stan Van Olst is going to have to defend from Lee Berridge in towards turn 1, and Berridge can get to the inside line. Very good line for Breitenbach to be taking. He might be trying to sharpen up the apex, but in the end, Berridge doesn't go too far wide and will take the position.
Yeah, a little bit of a rub mid-corner there. Sam turns in and just gives Lee that little bit of a reminder on the door as he's running him all the way out to the outside. Delmont wants a piece of it as well, and it's getting really argy-bargy through there. Breitenbach through the middle. Goodness me. They're getting brave here, aren't they? Berridge gives it a flash of the lights, and yeah, I can imagine he's a little bit annoyed at that because Sam nearly put him in the barriers. And then you've got Jean over the crest of the hill now. Somehow, he looks like the hero after that move, but that could very easily go wrong, couldn't it?
Yep, easily could have been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you. But thankfully, they've all managed to get themselves through and continue onwards. Ooh, a little bit of a battle further up. Dan McCauley trying to get through on Jan Osberg. This has been a battle that's been brewing for quite some time. McCauley outside line, not going to go for it just yet. He'll know what's happened to Matt Hoyland. He'll know what that means for him as well. So I think he'll be pretty pleased. And he won't overdrive the car. He won't go for it if he doesn't need to, because all of a sudden the extra points don't really matter, because it's not a case of him winning points to stay in front. It's a case of him winning points and claiming the points here to make sure that he wraps up the title. So I wouldn't expect him to chuck it anywhere dangerous or make a very quite aggressive overtake, because he knows that he doesn't need to.
Well, I'm happy to say that Mr. Hoyland is handling the whole situation very, very well. He's just said that he feels he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's disappointed. But that's all he's saying to it. He's just thanked me for putting the season on. I'm not sure we'll see him in the last race, and you could understand if he doesn't do the last race tonight. I would hope he would, but yeah, with the disappointment of having the form and coming that close, yeah, you couldn't blame him if he hangs up the gloves for this last one of the night. But yeah, the move is now made by Jean Breitenbach down the inside of Sam Van Olst. Sam drops down into 8th position. But look at the overspeed there. It's incredible. I don't know what Sam's doing there, wiggling around behind him. But it's just, again, I'm going to say this. It's just behaviour that just looks ridiculous. Like, I'm at the end of my tether with it now. And Sam received a ban earlier on in the season. And it's for moments like we saw earlier. You know, it doesn't make... as a driver, I don't understand how they can justify it, you know? I don't get that. Sure, he didn't knock anybody off just there. He didn't do anything that bad, but I just don't see the point. And it gets to me. I'm not going to lie, you all know that, but as an organiser, you know, you've got to try and keep these things in check, and it's frustrating to see it still happening, despite what they're warned of. Jan Osberg now clips the gravel a little bit, and Dan McCauley's going to get a run here.
He is. Let's see. Any chance of an outside line run in towards this stadium section? You've got to be brave, because it narrows up into the left-hander, but he's got enough of the car alongside, and he's got it stopped beautifully done there from Dan McCauley. And he's made it work. He's up into P3. He's got 2 laps to maybe chase after a race win, but... oh, God, Sam Fitzpatrick again. I mean, I thought we'd escape it in this series, but no. Sam possibly winning once more. Now he's got Jack Johns chasing him down, and then Dan McCauley. I mean, you asked me at the start of the race the 3 names of the drivers that be fighting for the win. It wouldn't have been those 3.
Yeah, what he's referring to, in case none of you have watched the Formula CDM series, it's Sam Fitzpatrick always winning. No matter what the situation is, no matter what the strategy is, Sam always ends up on top in the Formula CDM series, no matter what region we're in. And he's back at it again. Contact between Lee Berridge and Sam Van Olst as they come out of the first corner. A big amount of netcode involved in that by the look of it. But yeah, these two are getting a bit fired up here as Lee runs wide into him. Delmont's just got to try and sort of avoid what all this shenanigans is all about. And Sam is now moving around behind him. Delmont's going to have a freebie here, but he just needs to be careful.
Yeah, because this looks a little bit tetchy up the hill. 4 and 5 sweepers that could go very wrong indeed with just the slightest bit of contact. Then you're into 6, which... oh! Could happen like that. And Lee Berridge is off the road. Stan Van Olst, I think, taking him giving him a love tap in towards turn 6. Delmont on the inside line now. Nearly a love tap there too. getting very friendly in the last couple of laps here in the second of the 3 races at Zandvoort. Delmont just about with the advantage, but let's have a little gander back at what happened at turn 1.
So Lee gets an almighty run out of the final corner. I don't know how he managed that, to be fair. And then you get Delmont going over to the right. God, look how much these cars move around. You know, it's not as simple as a move to the right or a move to the left. The cars move around so much. Lee goes in really hot, but he gets a really good run around the outside of the corner. And then, oh, typically we can't see what happens there, but oh, it just comes down off the curb. Makes a little bit of contact with Sam. Sam does a great job to save it, to be fair. Runs a little bit hot into there. The two of them stay together. Lee understeers a little bit. Sam gets a hit from the front and from the back. Then gives Lee a push up the hill. Delmont here, I tell you, he must have been absolutely cacking it because these two are moving around quite a lot. Very close on the curb on the left-hand side. Sam gets right up behind Lee here, and yeah, he's just pushed him off. It's as simple as that. You could see it coming. I mean, you said it yourself, didn't you, Dara? You know, he's just sent him off into the abyss.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other way to put it.
You can't
really,
defend that.
Nah, it's because it's a bit of a tap, but he has kind of just ever so slightly, you know, demolished him off the road. But there you go. It's unfortunate, but he's going to have to settle with the consequences if there's a little play made by Lee, as we see side by side through turn 6. Champion-elect Dan McCauley just trying to get around the outside of Jack Johnson. A move from the Scotsman. He's made that work. And he's made 2 slightly crazy moves around the outside at corners you wouldn't expect to see moves made after I said he doesn't have to go for anything crazy. So I'm glad I said that, because clearly he's taken that on board.
He's just, yeah, he's certainly not scared, is he, Dan? He's suddenly got his confidence back after that first race. He let Holman through in race number 1 and just thought, right, points, score the points. And now he's back in front of Jack Johns after finishing ahead of him in the earlier race. And now he is up into 2nd position. And with just a few corners left, Sam Fitzpatrick is, of course, on his way to a race victory here in CDM Clio Cup. But behind, in 2nd place, is the driver that I'm not going to hear the end of this from, because rounding the final corner to win the CDM Clio Cup First Series is Dan McCauley, who becomes champion of the CDM Clio Cup for the very first time. Jack Johns finishes in 3rd place on the road ahead of Jan Osberg, finishes where he started despite all the mayhem around him. Delmont gains 6 places up to 8th ahead of Sam Van Olst, Lee Berridge, Martin Shirley and Sam Fitzpatrick. We can't escape him winning, can we, Dara? Flipping heck. But yeah, fair play to him. He's good in everything.
Yeah, he is, and it must be frustrating to be out there on the circuit to see Sam Fitzpatrick on the grid, because you just know he's going to be fast. But he's done a great job. Full credit there to Dan McCauley. Absolutely glorious way for him to win the title with 1 race to go, and he can start race 3 in P2 with Sam Fitzpatrick in front of him with full confidence that he can then take home the win and do it in style, to be honest. So I think he'll be absolutely thrilled.
He really will. And to do that from 13th on the grid, by the way, and then gain 11 places to finish up there. It's a drive that really sort of deserves the title that he has now won. We're going to take a little break here on Chaz Draycott Media. We certainly need it after the busyness of the 2 races that we've seen. And we will be back in just a few moments' time. Do not go away, because it's going to be mere moments and we'll be back. Hello again, everybody. Chaz, Draycott and Dara Thacker here for the season finale of the CDM Clio Cup. Dara, a very busy second race, as we often get, has produced, well, a hopefully forgettable moment and, well, a championship winner as a result.
Yep, it has. It came from Matt Hoyland, of course. He will come into this final race with not too much to fight for, other than really making sure that he stays in P2 in the championship. And just kind of holding his head up high. I mean, he's still got the best pace of anybody here this evening. So I think good luck to him to try and pull his way through the field, because he's got a lot of cars to overtake.
Yeah, he really does. He's going to be, I imagine, just hoping to enjoy the final race, and I think a number of drivers are going to be taking up that ethos as well, you know, just one more for the road, so to speak. And I'm sure that the Clio will get an interesting little, maybe temporary burial here on Chaz Draycott Media. But yeah, what a championship we've had, though. And I mean, it's been very much like the qualifying sessions that we've seen, you know. I mean, this guy in particular, Jean Breitenbach, he whacked it on pole after saying that he hadn't even bought the track or anything, and was going to finish at the back, you know. It's been so topsy-turvy in a number of places all season that you never really know what you're going to get. And I imagine it's going to be like that in this very final race of the season.
Yeah, it's all come down to this. It's the 24th and final. Can't believe we've had 23, to be honest. But it's nice to get us to this stage. Nice for us to have this final round, kind of with everything sorted, and it just means that everyone can race freely, race openly, and just give it their best shot, really.
It's Sam Fitzpatrick and Dan McCauley on the front row of the grid from Jack Johnson, Jan Osberg. Then it's Stuart Clark, Alex Fretwell, Sean Breitenbach, Adam Delmont, and Sam Van Olst with Lee Berridge, Martin Shirley, John Roberts, Jordan Butler, James Holman, Ben Gregory, Matt Hoyland, and James Pallett complete the field for the final time this season. Sam Fitzpatrick's already won one race tonight. Do you think he can hold on from the very front all the way throughout this one?
I mean, it's going to be tough, isn't it? Dan McCauley's right there off the start to pick his way through. Yeah, I'd fancy Dan to win this race, because he can just, you know, drive with the confidence that he's built up all season.
Let's see then, for the final time this season, the CDM Clio Cup gets underway from Zandvoort. Sam Fitzpatrick goes all the way over to the right to defend from Dan McCauley, and Jack Johns does the same with Jan Osberg in tow as well. McCauley, champion-elect, goes for the inside line at turn 1, tries it on his, I don't know if they were previously teammates or what, colleagues at Apex. Sam slots back in front of him. Adam Delmont is the only driver to have gained a position so far, and he's gained one down at turn 1. He tries another one into the hairpin, bit of contact with the side of Alex Fretwell into there, almost a bit of contact with Van Olst as well. Sounds like there was a bit of a drama further back, a few cars sliding around. Hoyland has gained 2 places in that little part of the circuit alone, but it's a nice, calm, clean opening few moments as Van Olst and Delmont get very friendly over the crest of the hill.
Yep, they do, and as they plunge through 6, it's just about Van Olst ahead of Delmont as they work their way through that fast right-hander. They'll single file out in towards turn 8 after the little bump of turn 7. But it is Fitzpatrick who leads McCauley. They're all line of stern until a couple pop out of the order. Samuel Clark, one of them. Stuart Clark. I'm inventing names at this point. Stuart Clark trying to make a move down the inside, but he wasn't able to do it on Osberg, and now he's going to have to defend from Fretwell. And all of a sudden, look at McCauley, good exit out of turn 10, and he may have a go into this little stadium section. He made a move here in race 2.
He absolutely did, but Sam Fitzpatrick really brave on the brakes into there. He actually went straight over there in the second race, did Sam, at one point. I was amazed he didn't get a slowdown penalty for it. Looks like Jack Johns has got the run on Dan McCauley here. He's going to try the move around the outside of him. Jack's car was moving around a heck of a lot there on that straight, wasn't it? Sort of very quick to dart from one direction to the other. It's almost like he was driving on a keyboard for a second there. Jan Osberg's going to try and tuck into the slipstream. We've got slipstream aplenty going on here as well, with Stuart Clark, Alex Fretwell, Sam Van Olst up 2 places on this first lap, while everyone else has stayed quite stationary. He sits in behind Fretwell. Stuart Clark stays all the way over to the left, and the move is on for second place. Dan McCauley and Jack Johns. Dan tries to get out of it and make sure there's no contact there. Goodness me, they're very close to one another, aren't they, all throughout the field yet again. But this is what Clio racing is all about. It's nice and close up and down the order.
Yeah, 2x2 again in towards turn 3, inside line for Stuart Clark. Fretwell trying it around the outside, there's a little bit of contact. Thankfully, no Ben Gregory style obliterations into the wall. And you've got Van Olst on the exit trying to come through. Fretwell's not quite had the run, so he's heavily under pressure. Then you've got Delmont and Breitenbach both looking quite racy as well in behind. They're just going to compact themselves into turn 6. Outside line for the Gold Sus car of Van Olst. Against Fretwell, he's just about going to get a run around the outside. Fretwell can't use all the pace he wants to because there is a car there, and then he gets turned. I mean, he's come across the front of Delmont there.
Yeah.
I don't really know where else Delmont's meant to go, but Fretwell's into the wall.
There was a couple of bits of contact in there that were just completely avoidable. I mean, we had Sam Van Olst turned onto the inside of Alex Fretwell when they were on the apex. Again, something that I keep mentioning that he's doing. And then you've got Fretwell for the second time tonight. We've got him moving over, and I mean, these cars move around under the brakes, but yeah, that's unnecessary because Sam just turns into him. That's what kills the momentum. And then Fretwell just... Oh, there is quite a lot of netcode in it, in fairness to him, but even still, you know, there was barely a car's width next to him, and there was a car next to him, so it's all very feisty. Hoyland up 6... I'm not going to open my mouth.
How many places was that, Chaz? How many places gone up?
It was 6.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you mentioned it. Let's have a look. What happened here? Is it just... It's fine. I mean... I don't... I know that, you know, it's not good for commentators to do, you know, stewarding live on air. Or, you know, apportionable and whatever. I think Martin Shirley may have done better to not have turned into Matt Hoyland there, but that's just an observation.
So professional, Dara. Honestly, I'm so grateful for you. Honestly, goodness me, it's another massive shame. Matt Hoyland and Alex Fretwell, both protagonists in the championship fight, coming here tonight, both having incidents again in this third and final race, the very last race of the season. We once again have Sam Fitzpatrick leading Jack Johns, leading Dan McCauley, leading Jan Osberg. In fact, they've swapped around how they were before. Delmont and Van Olst both gaining 3 places so far. They've both had really good starts to this race, despite their incidents as well. They've certainly made the most of these opening few laps. We're a quarter of the way through this race already. And the drivers, so many lines you can take down there, isn't there? As Holman, looks down the inside of Berridge. There's a bit of contact there. Lee runs wide. Is there going to be a flash of the lights? He does like a light flash, does Lee? No, he's got his teammate Ben. He said, Ben, sick him. Sent Ben Gregory after him. Oh, again, James just squeezing a little bit on the way in there. These Clios are a little bit more wide than Legends. He appeared on quite a popular YouTube channel recently, did James Holman, when he was selling his Legend, actually, his race car, to a drift team, which was pretty incredible. But, well, we've got, hopefully, a chilled 14 minutes ahead of us.
Yeah, good luck. Chance of that. Breitenbach is about to try and have a go on Stuart Clark. Delmont's just at the fastest lap of the race in P5 now. As Breitenbach's just kind of walking around the outside, tiptoe, get on the power, don't go into the gravel, maybe have a look around the outside at 2 as well. Let's see. Has he got enough pace to keep it stuck in? He's on the curb, could have lost the rear end there, didn't, and should easily have the line on the inside at turn 3. Control P7, good move by the South African. He looks like he will be able to save himself a little bit of time in P7 for the time being, but Stuart Clark's not going to let him get too far away, and is already trying to get back at him through the sweepers. James Holman on the back of this too, and we know how much pace he's going to be able to have in this battle as well. So this could get a little bit dicey as Stuart Clark ends up backing out, and James Holman could be all over the back of him in just a second.
I think Stuart did the right thing there, to be fair. He knew there was a little bit of a gap that he could fit into behind Jean Breitenbach and ahead of James Holman, because it was looking pretty dicey into there, and obviously you'll lose a lot of time. Look at that, James on the throttle nice and early to get a run into the next left-hander. He's going to go for it on the brakes into here, try and get the car stopped, meets the apex, and it's a lovely, lovely move that is. That is a very professional move, that, isn't it? That certainly shows the experience of a real-world racer. He's not completely cleared Stuart Clark, though, so give him credit where credit's due. Stuart has kept the pace around the outside, slots back in behind him, though, and Holman makes a very, very tasty overtake. Adam Delmont is doing the fastest laps at the moment. He has purple sectors on this lap. He had 3 purple sectors on the last lap. He might be a bright green car, but all the timing screen is purple where Adam's concerned.
Yep, and Adam's been absolutely flying last few laps. Let's see if he can get after Jan Rosberg maybe get himself into a move-making position in the next lap or so, because he's definitely got that kind of pace. Look at the time as he crosses the line. 51.9 for the race leader Sam Fitzpatrick. 50.9 for Adam Delmont. He's getting a full second on the race leader that time by alone. He is by far the fastest man on the circuit. And at 50.9, I think we would have got him pole, didn't it? I mean, he did get pole, but
Yeah.
could get it again.
In race pace later on in the afternoon on what I imagine is a much hotter track as well. So Adam Delmont showing that he just gets quicker and quicker all of the time. And he's been a fantastic addition to this grid. It's lovely to see Adam back, as obviously if anyone's just joining us tonight and hasn't been with us before, then they don't know that I've been watching Adam and racing with Adam for, nearly 8 years now, I think. And it'd been a good few years since I'd seen him in a league anywhere, or had him on a broadcast or anything. And all of a sudden he pops up in my lovely little Clio league, and he's been absolutely excellent to have on here. And yeah, he certainly brought a very high standard of pace in this car, and his racecraft has been spot on as well, hasn't it? Some of the overtakes we've seen from him have been delicious. I mean, look at that. That's not a bad one either. Flipping heck.
Yeah, been absolutely delightful to watch Adam Delmont. He's been able to put it together tonight in a way that he hasn't in the previous 2 weeks or meetings that he's been at. So it's good to see that he's able to fight through the front, get pole, get that good result in race 1. Looks like he's going to come back and get a good result in race 2 as well. 6 laps left on the season. They come around the final couple of corners, and Sam Fitzpatrick,
I know.
Stupidly wrote him off at the start, didn't I? What was I chatting? Oh yeah, it's Sam Fitzpatrick, but Dan McCauley's been quick. What am I on about? I can't believe I get paid for this. Dan McCauley's gonna try and run away with it, and he had the lead on the inside of turn 1. He hasn't had it since, has he?
No.
Sam Fitzpatrick's had an absolutely beautiful drive. He's controlled it for now. I think the biggest concern he's going to have is Adam Delmont at the moment in P4, because he is on a flyer.
Yeah, it's really, really good stuff for Adam Delmont, and he's going to be in this battle very shortly. Dan McCauley puts his nose down the inside. And look at the difference in the run. It's amazing, that corner, isn't it? The difference in run from one side of that corner to the other is absolutely immense. You get drivers that just disappear over the horizon and they're just away. Otherwise, you can just... It's even like when they're on the same line as well. You'll see a driver just not get the momentum off the corner at all, and it's just so strange. Really is a very weird corner to behold. Sam Van Olst is up 3 places in this race, up into 6th position. Unfortunately, his championship charges were sort of done at the Red Bull Ring after that massive incident with Jan Rosberg, the car ahead of him, and Danny Weir and Adam Delmont as well. And, well, tonight has obviously not gone his way as well, but there's been a couple of incidents involving Sam that have been far from savoury. What about his teammate Jack Johns, though? Jack's had a pretty solid night, in fairness to him. He's been right up there scoring points in each and every race, and it's been a lovely way to round out the season, because he's had a very inconsistent run this time round, hasn't he, as Jack? And we both know he's very, very quick, but there's just been scrappy moments here and there that have put a bit of a mark on the season.
There have, and it's been unfortunate, but overall, definitely lots of positives to take from this season in general, for pretty much everybody, which is always good to see. The things that everyone's been able to do, and because we've had that kind of turnover at the top of the order week on week, and even race on race, we've had evenings where we've had 3 different race winners. It's meant that there's always been something for the drivers to aim for, always been positives for them to take, and everyone's had at least a couple of positive moments over the course of the season, which is exactly what you want. Particularly when you've got 24 races, you don't want to feel like it's a slog. And I think for a lot of guys, they've felt competitive a lot of the time. Dan McCauley, of course, I think feeling more competitive than most. Goodness me, chaps, careful. What a move. Sorry. That's outrageous from Adam Delmont. I thought he was just going to try and just get himself involved and then have to pull out. What a move. That's incredible.
That was a heck of a move. Very opportunistic stuff by Adam Delmont. We'll go on board with this and see. So into there he goes. Dan moves over to the left-hand side, but it's like I said earlier, we've seen people go for that, and it's just not worked, because you have to give so much room to the guy to the outside. Adam runs the optimal line. Jack gives Dan plenty of room to get it done, and Adam just says, thanks very much, mate. I'll take that, and I am off. See thee. Unbelievable. Very good stuff. They're still fighting, and Adam... He's half a lap he's been behind Jack Johns, and he's going, you know what, I'm going to try and take him, and he's going to try the cutback. He's giving him a bit of a push. It's not going to be enough to really sort of dive back underneath him. But yeah, I tell you what, Dan's going to be enjoying being the front row seat to this, as these two guys, both very, very quick, will be throwing hammer and tongs at each other. Oh, look at this. If these two run wide now, Dan's going to get a lovely, lovely undercut on the pair of them. Oh, dearie me. I don't want to see Adam's car go hard right now all of a sudden. Berridge gets to slow down further down. But if I was to try and point out someone this was helping the most here, Dara, who do you think it would be?
Which is gonna. We can't. You're gonna have to talk to him if he comes in. I can't face Steve Bradford if he wins this race.
Oh no.
3 wide. He's flashing the lights down, Macaulay. I don't know why. He's gonna go to the outside line. He's gonna put Delmont on in the middle of the sandwich. Johns is on the inside as well. Who can get the best run? It's Delmont with the nose in front. Can he get the exit? I think he should be able to. Is he going to have any overlap? No, he's going to cover it off in towards turn 3. Now, or turn 2, I should say, it's a battle between Macaulay and Johns. Macaulay around the outside of Jack Johns. He should be able to control it through 3 and does. Bit of contact, but no real harm done there by Dan Macaulay. And now Jan Osberg might come through. So Jack Johns has gone from 2nd to maybe 5th in less than a sector. Well, not 5th, because Jan hasn't got the run.
There's just this little tiny wheel-to-wheel contact there as Dan ran slightly wide, wasn't there? And then Jack unfortunately had the car hop, skip and jump on him, but good thing it didn't really spit him into the wall. I think he got quite lucky there. I think both of them did, to be fair, because it would either have hooked Dan around into the wall or it would have spat Jack in a straight line. So very close stuff. We've got Jean Breitenbach side by side with Sam Van Olst here as well. James Holman right behind the pair of them. Oh, he's gone down the inside of both of them as James. He's got it stopped on the apex as well. Sam gives him a bit of a wet and dry rub on the right. Continues coming over to the right to him. And James says, you know what? All right, I'll give you the room then, mate. Flip it out. Around the outside he goes. Gives him way too much room. Drives off the circuit. And Sam Van Olst, like his life depends on it, defends that position.
A little bit mad, isn't it? It doesn't really give you a second to breathe. They're going to be sub-side of the stadium section. James Holman's just about going to be able to keep it through. John Breitenbach is going to stay in P7, control that spot for now. But James Holman somehow found an inside line. Is he going to be able to make that one work? I think he is. But then on the up and under is Stuart Clark getting a run, and a better run than anyone is Ben Gregory. Ben Gregory, who's been in the wall twice tonight, hoping to just see a checkered flag. That'd be a success in race 3. I mean, he's looking to try and maybe put himself into the top 7 here after starting right at the back of the order. There's 2 lines as they dive into the corner. Is anyone going to pop out, make it 3 wide? No. 2 by 2.
Oh, James is in hot.
Again. Yeah, he's in far too hot. Oh, and then Ben Gregory on the inside. It's just you don't know where to look anymore.
Do you remember 4 corners ago, Sam Van Olst was in this fight? He's absolutely disappeared now. He's a country mile ahead of them. We're having a big, big scrap. Ben Gregory's making his way through these battles very, very well. Like Dara said just a moment ago, Ben's been in the wall a number of times tonight. I'll be just happy to be carrying on. Delmont, by the way, he's moved up into 2nd and he's cleared off from Dan Macaulay and Jack Johns. So he's just powering on. And he's chasing after Sam Fitzpatrick. On that previous lap, he was half a second quicker than Sam. And he's well and truly chasing him down for the race victory now. James Holman will be putting some pressure on Sam Van Olst before long, I imagine, because James has been absolutely rapid again tonight. He didn't put it on the front row of the grid, though, did he? He was 3rd, if I remember rightly, on the grid. But goodness me, it's been a lively race with a lot of position changes yet again here in CDM Clio Cup. It's exactly what you expect from Clio racing, and I'm glad that the car and the drivers we've got have delivered on the mayhem we expected.
Yep, exactly. And the mayhem has been thrilling to watch. It's a shame that we've only got 2 more laps of the season to go. It has been a great 8 weeks of racing. Every single evening has delivered fantastic side-by-side action, fantastic moves, and you've never really known exactly who's going to come out on top. As I clearly haven't got a clue, even after being here for pretty much every single race. Sam Fitzpatrick holds the lead. His issue will come if Adam Delmont can catch. How much did he catch up on the last lap? 52 flat for Sam, 51.4 for Adam Delmont. That's 6/10, and he's only a second away. Adam Delmont is going to be in the frame for the win on the final lap of the race. Of that, there is no doubt. Just a case of whether he can, get through and maybe save my blushes. No offence to Sam, of course. I can only get away with this because Sam has only turned up tonight. He has no championship aspirations. He's just here for a laugh and a little bit of fun. And he's already got a very good race win under his belt. So As long as I can save my blushes, I think I can afford one slightly unhappy Sam Fitzpatrick tonight, Chaz.
Well, he's won enough races in Formula CDM. He's just greedy.
Well, exactly.
So he needs to just stop it. To be honest, I think it's been brilliant though. I mean, all jokes aside, it's been
you're
so.
in charge, Chad. You tell him.
Oh yeah, I know, innit?
But to be honest, I should kick him out for that livery anyway. But it's been, all jokes aside, it's been fantastic to see Sam come into this. Sure, he didn't quite have the pacing quality that we expected. He wasn't right up there at the sharp end, but you know, with the reverse grid, put him up there with the format. You know, he's once again played to the format, and he's just been absolutely fantastic. Really, really brilliant. And he's once again shown, whether it is an Indy Pro 2000 PM18, you know, one of the twitchiest and loosest little Formula cars you've got, or whether it's a Renault Clio, Sam Fitzpatrick can drive it, and he can drive it with sheer potency. He's not quite driving it with as much potency as Adam Delmont right now, who is going to be in the slipstream. Now, we always have moaned, I mean, I have anyway, moaned about the fact that obviously the slipstream in iRacing isn't anywhere near as strong as it is in real life. Delmont would be doing 300 mile an hour right now, but it's still enough to make a difference, and that is why Sam is trying to break that toe, isn't he, Dara? Last lap of the season.
There's a gain of only 4/10 that time by Delmont. He's getting close. If it's going to make the move, you feel like it's going to be into the final couple of corners of the lap. But Sam is doing everything he can to make sure he stays in front. Van Olst defending from James Holman. With Ben Gregory and John Brayton back, I think Holman and Gregory will have felt like tonight they should have got a few more points than they've ended up getting. But is there any move for Holman at the end? He's going for the inside line. There's a chasm between the lines in terms of the distance. And Van Olst just hooks around the outside. Much better run. Same could be said for Gregory, who gets through, and maybe for John Brayton back in the background.
A massive thank you to my good friend Zauer, who's just popped in on the live stream and gifted 20 Chaz Draycott Media memberships. Thank you so much, Zauer. You absolute superstar. He's a huge fan of my Tower Simulator 3 videos. It's usually on those streams where the memberships get given out. But thank you massively, Zauer, for handing those memberships out. Make sure if you do receive one, you say thank you. But the battles are well and truly on here, as Holman is now fighting with Brayton back. But we do need to go to the front because Fitzpatrick has got just a few corners left to go for what might be his second win in a row. But we've also got Delmont, who could take his first win of the season.
There's only 3 corners to find out. Delmont looking for that line. I mean, Sam Fitzpatrick somehow has a win and Delmont doesn't. I mean, it's outrageous if you told me that 2 weeks ago. Outside line for Adam Delmont. Let's see, can he find the right line? I think Sam's just about going to defend enough, but there's going to be a better run to the line for Adam Delmont. He's in the slipstream, or is it? He's just about in the gravel. Has he got enough? I'm not entirely sure as we go to the line.
Dan McCauley for the win here, I think. If these two carry on this sort of behaviour, run to the line side by side. Sam Fitzpatrick and Adam Delmont, final race flag of the season. And it's just Sam Fitzpatrick who takes it. Brilliant stuff. Dan McCauley completes his title-winning season with a podium here at Zandvoort. Jack Johns finishes 4th, just off the podium, ahead of Jan Osberg, Sam Van Olst, Ben Gregory, James Holman, John Braytonback, and Stuart Clark, who complete the 10. Very, very close stuff. What a fantastic finish we had there, though, Dara. That once again shows another great... Oh, okay, John. That shows another fantastic element of Clio racing that we love, you know. Very, very close action all the way through.
I mean, it was close to the point that it was less than a 10th for the win at the end between Fitzpatrick and Delmont. Sam Fitzpatrick's won 2 races this season. I mean,
Oh, God.
where's that come from? He didn't even qualify well. And he somehow won 2 races. I mean, does he ever have a rest? He's just so good. It's ridiculous.
James Holman has won 1 race this season. Martin Shirley has won 1 race this season. Lee Berridge has won 1. Sam Fitzpatrick has won the same amount of races as Ian Stitchbury this season.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, God. I need to lie down. I very much need to lie down. Dan McCauley will need one as well. He is your CDM Clio Cup champion, everybody, after an exemplary season. And one of... Well, let's not forget, actually, he thought at the start of the season he could only make half the rounds. And he signed up about an hour before the season began at Misano. He just decided to jump in last minute and go from there. Now he comes away champion, and I'm sure he'll be very, very pleased. Let's have a look at the race results for tonight then. Matt Hoyland, God, it seems like forever ago, doesn't it? Hoyland won the first race of the night really putting one finger on the trophy ahead of Delmont and then Dan McCauley. So he actually got 3 podiums in a row actually tonight, did Dan. James Holman finishes in 4th place ahead of Fretwell, Fitzpatrick, Van Olst and Breitenbach, with Shirley and Johns completing the top 10. Then it was Lee Berridge ahead of Jan Osberg, Stuart Clark, James Pallett, John Roberts, Ben Gregory and Jordan Butler completes the field. Dara, why don't you take it away with the race 2 result?
It was Sam Fitzpatrick who took his first win of the evening by a couple of seconds ahead of Dan McCauley, who has, of course, won the title in that race. Jack Johns for Goldsus. After they finished the season off well, he got a podium. And the number 3 in P3. Jan Osberg 4th, not too far back, with Stuart Clark and Alex Fretwell in 5th and 6th. Fretwell less than 4 seconds off the race win, but only finishing in 6th. John Breitenbach, Adam Delmont, Sam Van Olsen, Lee Berridge running out the top 10 with Martin Shirley ahead of John Roberts, who of course started on pole. Jordan Butler, James Holman, Ben Gregory getting the final points paying position. Hoyland and Pallett got caught up in a fair few incidents themselves.
Well, they absolutely did. And then the race that we just saw then, Sam Fitzpatrick takes his 2nd win of the season. Can you imagine telling me that at the start of the night? Adam Delmont, I think it's blasphemy that Adam Delmont didn't win a race in the 3 race meetings that he completed in, considering how fast he was. But what a brilliant performance. We said a lot of lovely words about Adam in that race, and we mean each one of them. It's been great to watch him. Dan McCauley completes his season with a 3rd place and another podium. Jack Johns, more big championship points tonight. He's had a pretty high score in this one, ahead of Jan Osberg and Sam Van Olst, with Ben Gregory in 7th. James Holman was 8th after that massive battle, with John Breitenbach 9th and Stuart Clark in 10th. Then it was Lee Berridge 11th, ahead of Matt Hoyland and Jordan Butler, with John Roberts and Martin Shirley completing the point scorers for the final time this season. And the 9PP racing team of Alex Fretwell and James Pallett will be a little disappointed in how their season ended. But it's Dan McCauley, your drivers' champion, Goldsus, your team's champions, and we've got to see who we can have a chat with. You know what? I wonder if this driver is actually up for a chat and is why he is sat in there. Mr. Hoyland, can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you. I'm so upset. I'm joking. I'm fine.
Obviously, a night of 2 halves. An interesting night for sure. One where the title was just in reach, but obviously we all know the result. I'm not going to read it out to you again. But how do you feel that your sort of side of the work was tonight?
To be honest with you, I think this could have happened at any of the last 3 meetings. I just had a lot of good fortune where I've not really got involved in anything. There has been things going on, but I just haven't been there. And you look, at some point that luck was going to run out. I'd made up a lot of points on Dan, and it was always going to be a long shot anyway. I did my own share of silly things tonight, which I'm sure will come up in conversation, but I'm not totally innocent. I'm not going to claim I am. But for it to end the way it did, yeah, disappointing. Am I going to lose any sleep over it? Probably not. I've still had a good time, and I'm still happy for Dan winning it.
Fair play to you, mate. Like I said during the broadcast, the way you handled it is very, very good. What have you made of the season overall? I mean, it looks like we know you've had a bit of a roller coaster, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I made it a lot harder for myself than I needed to. If I'd sort of got it together earlier on, I think I would have had more of a realistic shot coming here. But I also think it took me a bit longer to get to grips with the car, so you know, it swings and roundabouts. It just didn't quite work for me. But like I said, I had fun, and that's what I do these for. Like, nobody's going to snatch me up for a contract in real life by winning these. So you know,
you don't know what fingers I've got. What fingers I've got my pies in.
Like, come on, we're all. This is a hobby for us. Like,
yeah.
It's fun. I want to race, guys. Yeah, I want to race hard. Sometimes it goes over the mark. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works out superb. I mean, I had some great battles with James last week at Austria. We had some great fights, and it came out really clean. It can go one of two ways when we're fighting that close. Just unfortunate it went the wrong way for me today, but yeah, I still had a blast.
Well, that's the main thing, Matt, and it's been fantastic to still speak to you at the end of what I imagine was a difficult night. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
See, I've saved this for last one. Shout out to you, because I ain't thanked you all season. Massive thanks for organising it all. I know how frustrating it is as an organiser when things like this happen tonight, when it's had as many instances as it had, but it is very much appreciated, and I know when everyone's calmed down, they would echo the same things, and I know just how much work you put into it. So I appreciate that. Thank you to you as well, Dara, even though I've spoke to you like once a season. Appreciate you on commentary. Thank you to Francois for everything he's done. And thanks to Danny for being my teammate, even though he wasn't here because he's terrible and he got banned.
Simon Price is unhappy with you. He says he's sickened that you're also a class act. But thank you very much, as always, Matt. It's a pleasure, and it was great to see you on Saturday. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you on our screens again very, very soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you, boys. Catch you later.
It is annoying how nice he is, actually. But you know, to be fair, very, very humble, very, very professional stuff from Hoyland there. A lot of people would be absolutely purple over what happened tonight, wouldn't they, Dara? And he's handled it like a champ, as Matt. Fair play.
Oh, I would. I'm not gonna even bother hiding that. I'd be fuming. But yeah, he's taken it well, and it's always good to see that, and it's always good that there's not going to be, or you'd hope that he's not going to feel like he needs vindication at some point in the future for it. But he's had a great season, and I think after the first few weeks, you know, with the drivers that we had initially had at the top of the tree, I don't think he necessarily would have expected to be able to fight for the title. So. Changing circumstances put in there, but I think he's delighted that he's been able to put himself towards the front.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to see the pace and the form. If you don't mind, I'm going to throw a Scotsman at you because I'm not going to hear the end of this over the next few months. Now that he's got his voice back, Michaela's not going to hear the end of it. It's our champion, Dan McCauley.
Welcome in, Dan. First of all, congratulations. How are you feeling? Because it must have been stressful, particularly after race one.
Race one was pretty stressful, especially at the end. I didn't really know what way that went, and with not much time in between to see what happened. Yeah, felt pretty shit, but I thought I better just try and see what I can do in race two, and fortunately got lucky, I think. Staying tight when all that carnage happened in the middle of the lap, and then just sort of picked my battles as I went forward. A couple of risky moves that I didn't know I didn't have to make at the time. But yeah, enjoyed it. It's been a good night. Not with the best racing that we've had all season, but I think with some people it's been great. And yeah, just absolutely buzzing, to be honest. I was in my head resigned to the fact that Hoyland was probably going to drive away from me in all three races, and it was going to be pretty tough. But I see that he had some really horrid luck tonight, and it is a bit of a shame that it's gone that way.
It has in the end, but I mean, in the end, it means that you've been able to run out as the champion. I mean, I guess you would have known in race two, right, that it was going to go well for you after that incident. Did you kind of feel like you were able to relax finally in race three for the first time in ages?
Race three, I kind of thought I was going to go into it, no pressure, have some fun, and then I made a very slight mistake, and that let Jack through, and then yeah, I think I had more pace than the two in front, but I just didn't want to try anything that was too low of a percentage with Jack, because I know he can race quite hard. So, yeah, it didn't quite pay off in the end. I feel like I could have won that one. So I'm now kicking myself a little bit, but I need to look at the bigger picture and the fact that I managed to win this overall after the start that I had, not having an idea how to drive this car. Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
I'm sure that's gonna give you a lot of confidence as well going into everything else in the next few months. I mean, looking forward, how do you feel like this kind of win over the course of it? It's a long season, it's 24 races. How do you feel like this can kind of benefit you going forward into the next few months?
I think just maybe want to take a few months off, to be honest. Chaz knows my feelings on series that run back-to-back weeks all the time with no break, and it is pretty brutal. I think being able to make every round is a surprise. I thought I was going to definitely miss a couple, but once I started to realise that I was pretty competitive, I moved some stuff around. It would have been nice to see what Matt could have done if he was here for every round. I think it would have been a lot. I think I would have been the one chasing going into this last round, and maybe things would have played out slightly differently. But yeah, I mean, as you say, the series is long. It's a lot of races. It's a lot of races for things to go wrong. I've certainly not been the fastest this season, but I think I've been fast enough. And I think I've raced quite smart in a lot of the situations. I mean, I think I picked up one penalty all season, which I'm pretty happy about, and I just managed to avoid a lot of the trouble, which has paid off, especially places like Zolder, and I can't even remember where we were last week. But yeah, I feel like staying out of trouble for those ones has definitely helped.
Yeah, it definitely has, and you've run out the champion, so fair play. to you, Dan. Congratulations on a great season. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast?
Just a massive shout out to you guys for broadcasting all season. It's as long for you guys as it is for us. Big shout out to Chaz and Francois for sticking by this. I know it's been pretty tough with sort of the reactions that some people had to the driving at the start and then decisions and this, that and the other, but I think there's a key group within this league that raced really well and appreciated everything that was done. So yeah, thanks very much guys, and enjoy the well-deserved time off between this. Shout out to a lot of the guys in here for some of the incredible racing we've had this season. I mean, between Matt, Lee Berridge, Holman, just the ones that come off the top of my head, that the racing's been great. Really enjoyed some of the really close battles we've had. And then just a big shout out to Drew for, I think he's probably asleep by now because he's on an early start, but he hasn't really done much, but he'll kill me if I don't give him a shout out. So yeah, that's about it, and I'll see you guys for the next one.
Well said. And yeah, I think that all seems pretty fair. It's nice to have a little bit of a break. Do your Rosberg era. That'd be fantastic. Have a nice time off, and we'll see where you go. But thanks, Dan. Congratulations again, and good luck.
Cheers, guys.
Lovely stuff. Champion Dan Macaulay. I'm sure I'll hear a different version of that interview whenever we chat away from things going forward. I want to speak to this guy, Sam Fitzpatrick. Sam, first off, congratulations. Good to see you again. It feels like forever, but we cannot escape you winning races. How did you do that?
Oh, what can I say? I mean, what hasn't been said already, right? You know, it's I'd done a little bit of driving in the Clio before. I did own the car going in, because we at the Apex Racing Sim Centre we have a hot lap challenge, and so a couple of months ago it was the Clio at Brands Hatch Indy, and so I was actually half decent at that, and then we did a TCR one, so front wheel drive as well, and I was decent at that, so I was like, oh, okay, I might have a chance here. And then in practice I was about a second and a half off, and I thought, oh dear. But then, yeah, came with me in the end, and by the end I was quite comfortable out there. So, yeah, I don't quite know how that happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been very entertaining to see you come in here and then come away after one race night of of Clio racing with more race wins than some drivers have had all season. Obviously, a bit of an extended break now before the Formula CDM Oceania series potentially returns. Are you still in the position to jump into that and continue winning there?
I think we'll see. Certainly the World Series. Certainly, I'll be definitely be part of that now that I've qualified. I think you included Fuji though.
I did, yes. I forgot about that.
I am a man of my word, as you know, Chaz. There's not much to me, but that Fuji rule, I'm not entirely sure. So you know, we'll see how that goes on that one. I mean, I've missed enough rounds this season, right? So I mean, what's missing? One more. So maybe that will be what I go for. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't rule it out.
Sam, you're an absolute star. Great to speak to you as always, mate. And is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Thank you to Apex Racing Simulators. Of course, we have our headquarters at Corby, where we have, I think it's like 15 rigs now, all set up for people to come and check out. So if you're interested in that, just pop by. Thanks to my family for tuning in. I think they were enjoying it. They've been I think a little bit disappointed about my lack of participation this season, so hopefully that partially makes up for it. And thanks to you guys. I mean, I very much enjoyed today, so I wish I'd been able to do more rounds, but certainly I don't think it'll be too long before I do another one.
Well, we certainly look forward to having you back on our screens again, Sam. Thank you very much for being a part of it, and yeah, hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, see you guys soon.
Fantastic stuff from Sam. And yeah, if you want to head down to Corby and Apex Racing Sim Centre, I can't remember the full name, just get to the fire and turn left. Let's see who else we have.
I was going to say, I was worried that I saw the news on that and thought, oh god, I hope it's not Apex.
Oh god, well I hope not, because otherwise I think he'd be talking about it already. We are unfortunately having to end here. We're having a little connection issue at the moment by the look of it, so I'm gonna just make sure that we don't overstay our welcome on the bandwidth here. Dara, any final words from you to round up this crazy season that we've seen here?
Yeah, it's been an absolute thrill, isn't it? I mean, 8 weeks of fantastic action. You've not known where to look every single meeting that we've had. We've had multiple race winners. You've had drivers that have been here for a week or two that have put the can amongst the pigeons, but only in the best way possible, have been competitive, have given us some great racing. Sam, perfect example of that, coming in the last week and somehow winning 2 of the 3 races. I mean, it really has been a great season in the Clios, and definitely a lot of fun every single week. I've loved it.
Well, it's been fantastic to work with you again, as always, mate, and obviously look forward to the next time we get to share the commentary box again. Huge thank you also to all the drivers for putting on such a show, for all the series sponsors. You can see their logos in the top right. We've got Feel there, Abruzzi, and also Fireback Glass. Keep an eye out as well for Fireback Glass. Their website is now up and running as well, so I'll make sure there's links in the descriptions to all of that so you can have a look through there. It was just the Instagram page before, but now they've got a website running, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the CDM Clio Cup here on Chaz Draycott Media. There will be a bit of a hiatus from this sort of thing for a little bit, but come back to winter and we should be up and running and racing again. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll hopefully see you again very soon.